In the distant echoes of history, before the multiverse trembled under the weight of Phyrexian horrors, there was Ramos, a being forged not of flesh and blood but of steel and purpose. A dragon engine of immense power and unknowable intellect, Ramos had once been a mere tool of war, an instrument wielded by Mishra in his relentless struggle against his brother Urza. But war, as it so often does, reshaped its combatants, and in a twist of fate, the engine of destruction was turned toward salvation. Captured and reprogrammed by Urza himself, Ramos was given a new directive, one that stood in stark contrast to his original nature. No longer was he a mindless engine of death. Instead, he was to be a guardian, a last resort for the people of Terisiare should war consume all else. It was a plan set into motion with the foreboding knowledge that destruction was inevitable. And when the moment of devastation came, the Silex blast, the cataclysmic end to the brothers' war, Ramos did what he had been instructed to do. He gathered what life he could, scooping up humans and merfolk alike, and prepared to flee. His escape was not simple, nor was it direct. Phyrexia, the plane of his origin, loomed in his path, a dark reminder of what he had been. He shifted through the plains, moving from the dying land of Argoth to that mechanical hellscape, but he did not linger. Through sheer force of will, or perhaps fate itself, he tore through another portal, one that would eventually become linked to Wrath, and landed upon an unknown world, Mercadia. Mercadia was not a welcoming land, not at first. The sky above was thick with unrecognizable stars, and the ground beneath him trembled as though it did not want to bear his weight. His descent was not graceful. The mighty dragon engine, once a flawless machine of war, crashed into a city, his massive frame shattering buildings, taking countless lives in an accident that would haunt the memory of Mercadia for generations. Yet from this destruction, something curious happened, something that neither Urza nor Ramos himself could have anticipated. The survivors, those whom he had saved, began to build. They constructed homes, they formed communities, and in time they forged civilizations. And as the decades stretched into centuries, as the stories of their origin became myth, Ramos was no longer seen as a mere machine. He became something greater, something divine. To the people of Mercadia, he was no longer a dragon engine. He was their creator, their god. For millennia, Ramos slumbered, a silent sentinel watching over the world that had reshaped him. But destiny has a way of waking even the deepest sleepers. The arrival of the Weatherlight, a skyship crewed by heroes and fugitives, would see to that. They had come to Mercadia seeking answers, and what they found was legend woven into reality. The myths of Ramos had been spoken in hushed tones for centuries, but now the truth of his existence stood before them, a colossus of metal and power. Among the many secrets Mercadia held, one was of particular importance, the bones of Ramos. These were not bones in the mortal sense, but power stones, 5 in total, scattered and protected by dryads. They were relics of unimaginable energy, and to the crew of the Weatherlight they were part of something even greater, the legacy. A puzzle piece in Urza's grand design, these power stones held the potential to shape the course of the multiverse itself. The crew sought the power stones, and in doing so, they came face to face with the being that had inspired 1,000 years of faith. Ramos, ever watchful, revealed his true past, not a god, not a creator, but a remnant of a long-forgotten war, a machine burdened with a mission given to him by the very man who had once sought to destroy him. And yet, even as he recounted his tale, he did not hesitate in his decision. He granted the Weatherlight crew the power they sought, handing over the power stones that had long contained his essence. His involvement did not end there. As the Weatherlight prepared to flee Mercadia City, pursued by dark forces that sought to claim them, Ramos took flight once more. His massive wings, once silent for centuries, roared to life, carrying him into battle. Volrath's ship, the Recreant, loomed ahead, a predator closing in for the kill. But Ramos, with all the fury of the past weighing upon him, struck first. He tore through the vessel with relentless force, scattering its remains into the wind. The act was not merely one of protection, it was a catalyst. The destruction of the Recreant set into motion a revolution. The streets of Mercadia City, long kept under control by forces that sought to suppress its people, erupted in rebellion. The myths of Ramos, the stories whispered in alleys and temples, had taken form in the sky above, and the people rose with him. The city burned, not with ruin, but with the fire of change. And still, Ramos's story did not end. When the darkness of New Phyrexia stretched its talons across the multiverse, when invasion forces threatened to claim all in their path, Ramos did not retreat into legend. He fought. The ancient dragon engine, born of Phyrexian ingenuity and reforged by the will of a man who had once been his enemy, stood in defense of the world that had become his own. He was no god, and yet to those who fought beside him he was something greater, a protector, a symbol of defiance against the horror that lurked beyond the veil of reality.